Peace and blessings, everybody. How y'all doing today? It's me, Mike Can, aka Rogue Spiritual, aka M Shell, aka Rogue Forever. So let me tell you something. So I've seen a lot of inspiration posts from, surviving the gap and then come building themselves from the ground up. I mean, bro, my story is no different, and you are on this journey with me. So this is gonna be, how it came to be. You know, 10 years old, I wrote my first rhyme, and I heard every nasty word since 1997. How I wasn't meant to rap, this and this and that. Um, I didn't take rap seriously until I had no choice but to get myself out of the rut. At first, I got back to writing rhymes in my first crib. Hard times fell. Now I have no choice but to write myself out of a situation to keep my mind occupied and going off the deep end or just going off the deeper end, period. Now, with the devil, intruding my mind with his second childhood over everything that I said no to and me not being swift enough and things that built my character, bro, I did my first performance in the New Yorkers back in the span of 2010, 2011. You know, this kind of catapulted me to like taking an interest in rap music, if you will. Like you already know my story, how hip hop has warped my mind. You already know my story, how I went from giving the people what they want, which is the pain, the gutter shit or whatever, to being a conscious rapper, to being a Christian rapper, which I am now and ongoing. The thing is, in between all that and the rhymes that I have written, there was actually prayers and manifestations that I have been writing. Like, I have been immersed in death and niggatry. Like, not saying so much about my dad's side of the family, but they was doing that gutter shit up in the street. Okay? Now, you already know I moved to Soundview. Made a friend. We both was kicking a freestyle together, and Lucas was my link to the streets all the way till 2010. Bro, in between that, I was writing every rhyme I could think of or whatever, trying to update myself, this and this and that. There's just things that I won't do again, which is to try to be masculine, and that was holding me back. Once I got into my feminine element, everything was unlimited and uninhibited in a good way, not in a bad way, okay? Now, this is the thing. When I decided that I wanted to take rap seriously, way before I went to the shelter, I had my crib, I was in my marriage. I said I want to rap. Before that, I was dealing with a friend of mine that I didn't take seriously, and it just led to one thing to another. They all said, you know what, we don't you just trying to be lit. You just doing it for clout. What's the reason why you want to rap for this and this and that? When I was in my marriage 15 plus years ago, Lionel just wanted me to stay home and cook and clean and do all that gutter shit. However, I was already filled with ambition way before I decided where to take my career. You know, my thing was I was always into getting money and the quickest way how to get money while maintaining a job at the same time. Everybody and their mama, especially within the past 15 years and even before they, since 1997, said you're not meant to rap. Why you rapping for? Or you just doing it for clout? I agree with everything because you are absolutely correct, except the fact of the clout part. I never did anything to be lit. And when you are surrounded by people constantly that try to shut you down and tell you that you're just doing it to be seen, this and this and that. First of all, maybe they might have been right when I was addressing my Hot 97 ambitions. I wanted to drop bombs with Funk Flex. However, it was just like, what's the point? Even back in the 90s, it was just a whole lot of politics and aesthetically pleasing shit. Like way before the internet took course of the way it is right now. like to get on a flex show, you had to be aesthetically pleasing. You had to go through all the politics. You had to be willing to play your position for very little. And I refuse to do either of those things. You got me fucked up. And the word play your position. I have heard that within the last 15 years, whether toxic friends or toxic relationships, marriage, or situationships, when a nigga felt threatened low key and I didn't know what the fuck it was. It was the fact that I was too tall from the start. And they was big mad. Okay? I got videos dissecting all of that. I got videos dissecting my toxic friends. The thing is, sometimes being tall, standing tall, and walking tall is worth way more than playing your position. Okay? Not everybody was meant to be Method Man, and Method Man is not what I describe when I say playing your position. Method Man playing his position back in 4-3-2-1. He was literally charging the industry everything. He over here playing chess within the industry along with Redman. Some people was just meant to be outside in Spanish Hollywood like myself, as some people was meant to be in the industry and in between. And I respect everybody that deserves it. My thing is, you're not Method Man, you're not Redman, okay? You're not these certain people that have been playing chess from the streets to the limelight. If playing your position is costing your sanity, I suggest you raise tall, stand tall, walk tall, and think tall. Some people were just not meant to play their position. That is my main message within my life and my music journey, and that is more to come. Again, the reason why Method Man and Redman and certain other people was playing their position in the industry is because they was expert chess players within the industry, as they took it all the way from the corner store when they were snatching fitteds on the Ave. It's not in the what, it's in the how. So when I talk about Redman, Method Man, and certain people playing their position, it is no way degradation. It is no way deframing their character. It's actually giving them credit because they was meant to play chess within the industry, as they charge the industry everything. You, unless you're Method Man, Redman, and those that came before, during, and after the golden age, maybe you wasn't meant to play chess in the industry. Maybe your ass was meant to be like in Spanish Hollywood, and that's okay. I realized that my millie wasn't gonna come from rap. I realized that my millie ain't gonna come from my comic book, and that's okay. This is why, aside from walking tall, standing tall, and thinking tall, were to Method Man, Redman, and the people of the golden age before, during, and after. It's also, oh shit. It's also what is it? Yeah. Ooh. I think that was all I was meant to say. Thank you.